Hello everyone, welcome back to Julie Jules World. Today I'm going to bring you a DIY budget planner carrier. Last one that I made was a DIY cash money organizer, and that one was made out of scrapbooking paper where you can use at home, but this one here you can carry on the go, which I love, and it's very small and you can actually fit into your purse or you can just carry it with you. And I love it. It came out awesome, and I just wanted to share this with you all. So let me go ahead and show you the inside of it. Isn't that cute, guys? So pretty. I love it. It's very simple, but yet it's compact with a lot of stuff you can actually put inside of it, which I love. Pockets that we use for making our business cards. I had add some here, and then these are also the books that you can put your money into. I label every single pockets, and the labels you can actually print it out, guys. And that was there. And then I also add this journal inside of here. I have the notebook, as well as there's a little pocket that's hidden here as well that you can put stash other money inside of. It turned out to be awesome. I love the way it is. What I love about this, guys, is like you can put your license right here. For identity purposes, I didn't put my license here, but you can put your license right here and then your credit card there. I mean, and I made 2 books. There's 2 books that goes into this, guys. There's 2 of them. If you want to glue this in place and tack it in place, you can just glue it down. But I like them individual. I like where I can take them apart and be able to, put money inside of there, and then afterwards put it back in here that way. But you can tack them together if you want. And of course, the more books you make, the more pockets you have. So today we are going to be making a DIY budget planner carrier, and that's what it is. And then you close it up, guys, like that. And I made this lanyard. I just add that was extra that I add on there. I'm not going to show you how to make this. If you're interested in making the lanyard, if you have enough comments at the bottom below, let me know, and then I'll put up a video on that. But right now, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. So what you're going to need, 2 scrapbooking paper, and that measure 12 inch by 4.5 inch. Okay, and then you're going to be scoring it at 4 1/4 of an inch, and then at 5 inch, and then at 9 1/4 of an inch, and then at 10 inch. And in between those lines, you're just going to keep on scoring like we did last time. All right, there you are. And that's it for that. And what we're going to do is the shorter end, we're going to corner punch it, okay? Like that. So now you should have 2 of them. It looks like that. I'll be putting fabric on this, guys. You're gonna need two strips of fabric, the base outside and the inside. And we're gonna be putting these, you're gonna of course flip your fabric over, and you're gonna be placing them down like this. You're gonna be spraying. We're gonna use some adhesive spray and spray this, and then we're gonna place it down like that. And we're gonna do the same thing for this one as well. Go ahead and spray this, and then once we finish spraying, we're gonna go ahead and just cut the corners. And then we're gonna glue this down, and then we're gonna fold this over, okay? And now we move to the next step. It should look like this now, guys. Put your top base aside, and we're gonna do the inside of the base. And now you're gonna need 2 vinyl clear sheets, this section here and this section here, and it's going to be measured 4.5 inch by 4 inch. Okay, so cut those out, and you should have 2 of them. And this is where the pockets, this is where you're going to be putting these pockets in. And we used this before, adhesive business card holders that we used before. And everything, once again, I have a video that already have all this stuff. I'm trying to use the same materials, guys, so you have to go out and purchase new product. So I will have a link to that video at the bottom of the description box below, and where I purchased these. So we're gonna be using these credit card holders. You're gonna be placing them here, and then this is where we're going to be placing it on top of our vinyl at the bottom, and we're going to place this pocket here, and this one here is a bigger size. I purchased these from Target. Let's go ahead and place these in place, guys. Now, so we're going to be using our business card holder. I haven't put the business card holder or something inside of there, just even scrapbook and paper, just to guide you through. And then we're going to put, at least leave a ½ inch at the top part, guys. And you're going to do the same thing for the bottom. Let's just say maybe we can put a ½ inch. And then another ½ inch, guys. The next one will another ½ inch. We just do ½ inch between each and every pockets, okay? Okay, guys. And then you're going to put the last one, which is 4. So this should look like this, guys. Let me show you. It should now look like that. And then, because when we sew, we want to lock this in. We're gonna sew close, very close to the edge, on top of the credit card, so we can hold it down in place, guys. We don't want this coming off of here. You're gonna be doing a lot of taking out and putting back in. So that's what that's gonna look like. And the next pocket, we're just gonna use these bigger pockets, which I purchased these from Target as well. But you can probably purchase from Amazon as well too. So, and then we're gonna place our bigger pocket. I always like to put something inside of here to guide me. We're gonna put a bigger pocket. So let me go ahead. I put up like a piece of scrapbook and paper in there, guys. You can do the same. And then we just place it in the center of this one here as well. And that's how we're gonna do those two, because that's gonna be going, these two are gonna be going right here and right here. The next step we're gonna do is we're gonna be sewing this side here, the left side, and the right side we're gonna be sewing, and then this side here we're just gonna be sewing down this end, because once we seal this, the whole thing's gonna be sealed up, okay? You don't have to worry about that end. But we're gonna sew down here, here, and then here. Let's go ahead and do that. Make sure you take your cards out before you sew it down. Flip it around this way. It's easier to sew this side than to coming up where the edges, the grids are. So just turn it this way and then sew it this way, guys. And then do the same thing for the other two too. Sew down this end and that end. And guys, here's a tip if you want to be able to, because these are clear and it's hard to see that on the fabric. So what I did was just remove those. At the back of this, just kind of have some tape and just, this is what helped me when I did mines. I just place it on top of this, on these lines, exactly in the middle of it. And then I just, what I did was just bring it around all the way down in the middle of that line here. And so it really helped me. And I do the same thing for this side as well. And it really helped me to stay away from folded corners. So now it should look like this, guys. See how I did it? Oops, let me make sure you guys can see that. See how close it is to the line? It's not all the way where you take up too much space where you can't fit your credit card, but just enough to be able to just intact it down, because you're going to be doing a lot of pulling from this project, a lot of tugging and pulling, putting back in the credit card and then pulling back out, and you want to be able to make sure it's intact. So that's how it should look, guys. And the same thing with this side as well, just the corners. We'll go ahead and get our Velcro, and we're gonna go ahead and sew these on before we do anything else. So we're gonna be sewing it on both of these, one on here, then the other one, because you're gonna be folding this. This is gonna be the base outside, okay? This is gonna be covering over it like that, and then you're gonna put another one outside here so it can close up like this, okay? So let's go ahead and put these in place, guys. So you're gonna put it right about here, about a ½ inch, I would say, a ½ inch from the top, okay? Place it down, make sure you center it, and then you're gonna sew around that, and then you're gonna do the same thing with this one here and the base too as well. The front base, you're gonna be putting there a ½ inch from the top, guys, and then sew that in there, and then we can move to the next step. Okay, guys, you should have both of your front and your back based Velcro in there. sew in there and everything. So that should look like that. Now we're going to be doing our these little pockets here, okay, to put our cash in. So let's go ahead. The measurement for that is 8.5 inch by 4 inch, and you're going to need two vinyl stencil sheets as well, two of them, and then measure 8.5 by 4.5 inch. Okay, guys, and then you're going to be taking the bigger pockets, and we're going to be laying it one here, and then another one here. Okay, let me move this out of the way so you guys can see. Just have a better picture. You're gonna lay down, and then you're gonna be putting the part that you have to put your money into, guys. You want that to be at the top. It's just easier to pull your money out and put it back in. And the other side, you do the same thing. It's open, the pockets that's open, you're gonna be putting it at the top part, and you're gonna be putting them both down. Once you finish placing like that, we're gonna turn that over, and then we're gonna do the same, repeat the same thing on the other side as well for both pockets. Should look like that, guys. I don't know if you can see it. I don't want you to see that. See, it's close to the edge, guys, and then you place it in line like that. Okay, and then you're gonna do the same thing for this side, and then we're gonna flip it over and do the same thing for the other side, and we should have two of our books. Just go ahead and do two of them. Okay, guys, you should have two books. Okay, two books that looks like this. You should have one pocket over here, one over here, one over here, this end, and another one over here as well. Okay, so now you should have two of those. Let's put those aside. Now we're going to be putting, because we're going to be putting some eyelets in here to place those books into. So we're going to need our eyelets. We're going to mark the spot that we're going to put our eyelet. Two eyelets, two holes, top, bottom, and then we're going to get some elastic bands to hold that in place, so we could go ahead and do that next step, and then we come back to the book. We're going to be making our journal book, which measure 4.5 inch by 8, and I pre-did this ahead of time so I can have it available. So that would be the next step after you finish doing your eyelets. Make your journal, and it's journal. Once again, the measurements for that is 4.5 inch by 8 inch, guys. Okay, I'm rushing through this so fast, guys. It didn't dawn on me. We don't put these in yet. We just do it afterwards. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, guys. We do it afterwards. We finish putting everything together all the way around. I don't know what came over me. I'm usually be up on that stuff. And all of a sudden, I was just dawned on me. I'm like, wait, we don't put the eyelets yet. We make sure I have to sew all the way around in order for me to put the eyelets in. Should I get this right? We are going to sew all the way around here, okay? All the way around, and then we're going to put eyelets in there, as well as our books and our money, our pockets for her to hold our money in. So let me go ahead and get this right, guys. So don't do what I did. Do not put holes in there yet, but it's okay if you do, because this is a prime example. If you do mess up, you can still fix it. So I'm going to go ahead and sew all the way around, guys. Go all the way around. Make sure, guys, that you sew this pocket. Make sure it's sealed down as well, just like this other side, because we want it to stay down. We don't want it to, all the pulling and tugging is going to pull it out of place, and I don't want that. So make sure you sew right over the pockets and all the way around, guys. Okay, just giving you a heads up on that. So let's go ahead and sew this thing around, guys, and then we can put our eyelets in there, and then afterwards everything else, we put our books and everything else. Okay, all right, so that's the next step. So go ahead and sew all the way around, and then we finish up this thing. Okay, guys, I went ahead and did the eyelets and the elastic band. I put everything in place. I sewed around. I sew all the way around. See, and I make sure you sew over the pockets, okay? The adhesive pocket. Make sure you lock it in there, guys. That's how you want it to look. Let's go ahead and get to our next step. So the next step will be us having to put our journal. Just make sure you get your journal, and we're gonna be putting that in there. We're finished anyways. We're wrapping it up right now, so that goes right there, guys. Perfect spot. And then we're gonna be putting these books. Go ahead and fold these in half, and then these are going to be going inside of here. Now, if you want, once again, I mentioned you can glue the middle part, glue these together, but I like it like that. I like mine's like that. So, and then you put that in there like that, and show you exactly how it turned out to be. These are pockets, and your pockets for your credit card and your cash holder right here. Okay, and then your notebook. And then the bottom part is where you're gonna stash extra cash there. So that should be it for this project, guys. And thank you all so much for watching, and you will definitely see me in my next video, guys. Let me close this up so you guys can see how it looks. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love that. That looks so good. It looks beautiful. I love it. But that's it for this tutorial. Thank you all so much for watching, and you will definitely see me in my next video. Bye, my YouTubers. Love y'all.